Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm gonna be analyzing TADC episode 9 and sharing my thoughts. Alright, now before we start, this video contains heavy spoilers for TADC episode 9. So if you haven't watched it already, don't watch this unless you want a recap. The episode starts with Kinger saying that he killed Kane and then says that people in the circus are just brain scans. Almost instantly, Jax starts firing bullets and then says, now I know we all thought he was about to float and sing Jax's Rakim for some reason. Now after that he says something about Ragatha being able to hang out with her mother, then storms off. You see, this is why I hate Jax. Now Pony meets up with Kinger and tries to fix things and learn how to conjure, but she can't. And then Kinger starts talking about some blah blah blah, you only took a few days to get used to the circus, blah blah, and then she gets a hang on how to conjure things. Now up to here I've expected and theorized everything, but then after this cool time lapse of Jax being a loner, Jax walks up to Pomni and then hesitates to talk and just walk away. And then abstracts off screen. Now, after this, Ragatha talks with Pomni a little bit, they hug and a bit of colors come back, and then Pomni just runs off to Jax and pulls out a gun. And then she shoots him. She shoots the lights above him to make him calm. Then she enters his mind. Now, I didn't even know you can do this, but I guess she can just do that. She's just built like that. Now, inside his mind, we can see a few doors, each one with a scenario of a different person abstracting. Now, the first one is Ragatha's door. Then Pomni says something similar to Ragatha in episode 6. Then somehow Jax chokes her out as a coping mechanism. See, this is why I freaking hate Jax again. Then he lets her go and then says they can't die from oxygen deprivation and does this little hand gesture which kind of represents that he's falling into his archetype. The other door is locked, okay? Now, she opens the third door, which is Gangle's abstraction, where Zobel gets mad at him and he just tries to kill Jax, like flat out. But luckily, Jax turns it into some Bugs Bunny type shit and I'm starving. This is what Jax thinks he looks like when he says he's the funny one, by the way. Now, after whatever that was, she opens the last door that is unlocked just to see some Jaxes. They have a little argument, it goes back and forth and just flat out stupid. Then she gets the key to the locked room. Now, she just opens the door. I'm just saying anything at this point, alright. Now we start seeing flashbacks of the past. It starts off with Jax running, then driving a car, sleeping in an alley, and finally ending up in the circus. Then he kind of freaks out and looks at himself in the mirror, and then slowly bonding with Coffee and Ribbit. And then him and Ribbit hanging out in the same room. And then Jax started to talk about his story, that he had a weird relationship with his parents, that they split up when he was in high school, and he was never good with his dad. And when his parents split up, he never saw his dad again. And that his mother didn't think he was as good as his father, and when he told her something personal, she blasted him, made fun of him. After that, she hugged him, and he pushed her away with his left arm, and she hit her head and never got up. So that's why he keeps looking at his left arm, like in episode 6. After that, Kaufmo rings the doorbell, and Jax tells Ribbit if she told anyone about this, he'll stop being friends with her. Then he ran away. Day after day, he kept treating her bad, stopped being friends, and having arguments with her till she abstracted. Now, after this, him and Kafmo also started to shaken up a bit until Kafmo abstracted in the pilot, as we know. Then Pomni is in the same room as Jax. He starts talking, knowing that all he did was wrong, and then says that he doesn't want to go. It starts to feel like there's hope for him to come back, but all of a sudden... Alright, we'll put that there. Now fess up immediately. And we get one of the most emotional scenes in all of the ADC. Now, it's kind of ironic that the guy who voices Disappearing Guy, a little gag character, is the person that delivers the most iconic and emotional song in all of the ADC. But I can't show it because of copyright. Now, after this, Pomni is still grabbing onto Jax, who's literally just a flashbang, and then this happens. Zubul manages to get all of her arms to just pull out Pomni. Now, after Zubul pulls literally an entire abstraction, he struggles to lift a pillow. Just how? Like, look how. Now, after this, we can see that the cast is sitting down with glitched out Pomni sitting beside them. And then we somehow see that Kane is now back. We get to know how. It starts off by him realizing what had happened, and then fighting between the I am God personality and his normal personality. Now, then he starts to fly off somewhere different. Now, after he starts to fly for a bit, he suddenly loses his flight ability and has to do this really weird and goofy run. Now, where is he going exactly? Well, there's a door, and this door is exactly Wi-Fi. The problem is, there's just a giant gap in between the Wi-Fi and Kane. And he tries to solve the gap. He puts this really weird shape, doesn't work. He puts a cube, it works. Now he puts another cube, and he tries a third cube, it doesn't really work for him. So he changes, he puts triangle, circle, he just tries different shapes, different troubleshooting, which is exactly what Kane needed. Now he makes his way to the internet. He learns all about the main cast, and we can also see flashbacks of the mind files being created. Now with full access to the internet, Kane starts to learn about our main cast. He sees what they have been doing, their actual origins, and how their lives went after they entered the circus. Now I'm just gonna let this clip play out for a bit. And when he loses his internet, he just starts to fight between his I am God personality and his true personality. Now it goes on for a bit, at least like a minute, so I'm gonna speed it up. And after all this fighting, he pulls out the blue AI, which actually had the I am God personality, and then we get this JJK reference, which is actually the AI that had the I am God personality, not the other one. And then Kane proceeds to fly back to the land with full knowledge of the outside world and the main cast. And then he notices that the moon says that she loves Kane without being programmed to. And then he enters the circus and everyone is frightened. Now I like this part where Zubul shields Gangle. It's really cute. Kane apologizes to them and tells them all about their lives. Now if you want more detail on this, you should go watch it yourself. I'm not really gonna do that shit. Now this episode was really good, but the only problem is it didn't live up to the expectations. It delivered, yes, but it didn't live to the hype. but it's okay since Abstract GD is canon and Funny Bunny is coming soon. Now that's all for today's video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. I've spent a long time making this video, so please, I wanna get to 100 subs before I have to take a break to go on vacation. So, peace.